Nope. Yep. Nope. Yep. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Double Feature Versus. I am Black Cinephile.
I am AKA Brad.
That is AKA Brad. And we got a fun one, man. We got one here that we had in the works for a while, but due to some COVID incidents, we had to push it by some weeks.
Yeah, ironically, we pushed it back because you couldn't go see it because you had COVID, and now the week that we're recording it, I have COVID.
You see how God works, man? Yeah, life is just funny like that, man. Yeah, man, we got Close Encounters of the Third Kind versus Nope. Man, I tell you, the minute I saw that this was available to rent on demand, I think I texted you and was like, Brad, Nope is on streaming.
I can finally see it now.
Right, because I told you for the longest time I wanted to see it, but because I was just being careful a little bit and still healing, I put it off, and I was like, man, it's finally here.
Yeah, and I remember when you first told me, yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to see this in theaters. I think I had literally seen it the day prior, and I was like, are you sure though? Because I think you want to see this one in theaters, and you were like, no, I can't. And I was like, but are you sure though?
Right. I hit you with the early on. I was like, man, even before it came out, I was like, man, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to see this because I got hit with the with the C word. I can say I got hit with COVID, and you were like, oh man, that sucks. Well, I'll tell you how it is.
Yeah. But yeah, it's definitely, we'll be getting into that one for sure. But to start us off, do you think we should go chronological on this one?
I think because of the influence that Close Encounters has on Nope, it just makes sense.
So let's start with it. So I can take Close Encounters if you want to take Nope.
Sure.
So Close Encounters of the Third Kind follows the story of a group of people who have contact with an alien spaceship, and as a result they start being able to draw this weird mountain kind of thing, and they start having these weird flash moments and everything that makes no sense to them until it culminates to them finding a way to go and interact with the alien species. But the entire time they're basically told there's no aliens, there's nothing. The government has been checking, there's nothing odd going on. There's no reason to be afraid. Everything's fine. We just don't know what it is, but it's not aliens. So that is the bare bones kind of description of this movie.
Yeah, it is bare bones, man. And I gotta tell you, most of this film, its magic kind of lies within the moments. You know what I'm saying? Like this is vintage Spielberg. You know what I'm saying? This is vintage imaginative Spielberg, and it's so many moments throughout this film, as well as the great special effects for its time in the '70s, make this film great. Dude, how great is Richard Dreyfuss, man?
Oh, absolutely fantastic. When it comes to this movie, the cast definitely picks up exactly where it needs to, because you have him as the electrician, then you have who was the Roy's wife? You had Terry Garr as Roy's
Ronnie.
wife, who absolutely goes crazy when he is going crazy because he is one of the people that gets affected by the aliens.
Yeah.
So he is having these weird visions. He's doing this weird artistry stuff. She doesn't understand it. She absolutely hates that he's doing. She thinks he's doing this on purpose for some reason. And her psychotic breakdowns, because of his psychotic breakdowns, are just wonderful to the point that they're almost humorous.
Yeah. It gets a little real too, though. Like the moment where he's finally I guess the moment where in everybody else's eyes he kind of snaps full tilt when he's throwing dirt in the window and stuff, and everybody's staring at him, and she gets in the car with the kids, and he's normal. He's just walking up like everything's fine. Like, sweetie, where you going?
Mhm.
She's like, he's like, don't take the kids away. Don't be crazy. She was like,
Yeah.
what did you just say? Like,
I like
don't.
that after she drives away, he then casually walks back up the house. He throws another tree in through the window and
He
proceeds to
just
just climb in through the
he
window.
casually ties up his robe, like everything's
Yeah.
fine, and then just like you said, throws in the window and just climbs in after it. You got funny moments like that, and then you got pretty, I don't want to say intense, but you got like emotional moments, like when he's at the dinner and he's like messing with the mashed potatoes, trying to get the mountain that he
Mhm.
sees in his head, down packed, and his kids are crying and stuff, and everybody's just staring at him, and like he kind of realizes, oh man, like this stuff is really making me like go nuts.
Yeah. Yeah. Something's wrong, but he can't control it either. That's the one thing is like it's in his brain that he needs to do this and he can't stop. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's basically become an addiction for him because of this encounter that he had, which let's go back and talk about the encounter that he has when he's just driving the truck. I love how they use like the different kind of lights beaming down. His everything in his truck kind of starts going crazy and falling around. The mailboxes are like opening, closing,
Yeah,
and the street signs are all shaking and everything. And then they proceed to use the same effect later when people are all like in this mountain kind of going, oh, we're waiting for the aliens to arrive. We're waiting for them. And then you have what you think is the aliens because it's doing all the same stuff. And then it ends up being a helicopter
that's a
that
great
is,
shot.
and it starts to make you kind of think because this is still very early in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, was it actually an alien or was it just a helicopter that kind of was flying very low nearby where he was? Because you have a lot of
Yeah.
people also scanning the area because, there's been a lot of reports of UFOs. So you have a lot of helicopter, basically almost every scene in the background, there's a helicopter somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So it does give you like that idea of maybe that was a helicopter, but then he starts going into these huge kind of like drawings and trying to figure out this mountain that he keeps seeing in his head.
Yeah. Yeah, you are right though. The film does kind of create doubt with the incoming helicopter, and everything's whirring around like it did when he was in the car on the job.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like the
man.
movie tries to kind of give itself an out of explanation,
Mhm.
fully knowing that that's not the path it's going to take. Like I love how Spielberg does that kind of work where he loves using the same kind of effects to different motions to happen. So he does that several times in different movies. The glass of water in Jurassic Park and stuff, how that means different things. The shaking signs and everything in this movie. I absolutely love how he uses these practical kind of effects to it. And yeah, like you said, this is a classic Spielberg movie. It is
Mhm.
absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, man. You gotta love all parts of it. Like, okay, hold up. First of all, Homegirl deserves. Let's give it Mother of the Decade of the '70s, because this woman just keeps failing at like trying to kind of keep hold of her son as the aliens are messing around with their house. I'm talking about Jillian's character.
Yeah.
Yeah, like just I this kid deserves to be like put in boot camp, because when your mama tells you don't go towards the flashing lights that could abduct you, you listen to what your mama's saying to you.
See, I love that when even when they're kind of messing with the house and everything, and like you have the light coming down the chimney, the kid's like, oh, look, come on. And she's like, no, no, get away from there. And then you have like the what was it? The screws holding down like the air vents in the
Right.
floor. And she's like, oh no, no. I love how she's panicking every time something like changes and then the vacuum cleaner starts chasing them. It's like it's such a weird scene.
It was like
And
watching a Looney Tunes cartoon.
pretty much, yeah. And it's like, how badly do these aliens want this kid that they're literally like, well, the chimney didn't work. Let's try the air vents. That didn't work. I don't know. Chase them around the house with a vacuum. Maybe that'll scare them away.
I think it's how badly did the kid want the aliens. This dude,
That too, yeah.
this dude went through the trap door like, oh, like what did he say? Oh, through here.
Oh yeah.
Then that's when the aliens finally took him. And I was like, man, this whole thing is I don't I don't think I had anxiety during that scene, but I was like, how do you keep losing grip of this little 3-year-old kid?
Yeah, this you literally have one job.
All right,
It
you
is to
have what?
watch this kid, and somehow he's just gone all the time.
Oh man, my mind was going when she first woke up and saw her kid outside, and he's like Barry, Barry, and he's looking up at her like the lights, the why aren't you immediately running downstairs?
Right, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I absolutely love that. Yeah, because she gets woken up by like his toys going off in her bedroom. She's like, "What the hell is this?" Just looks outside, and her kid's just outside in his pajamas. And it's like you don't have a more immediate concern about what's going on.
Right. Oh, look at this. As I'm walking, let me just discover everything. Oh, wait, my son's outside.
Oh yeah, yeah. Let me just slowly go through and be like, "Hey, why is all the food outside of the fridge on the floor right now?" Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, man. That whole arc right there was like it's either somebody I know Spielberg is credited as the sole writer, but I know a lot of people helped him with the script. I'm like, either somebody doesn't know what an unrequited mother's love is, or they were just
Mhm.
like, let's just let her be like a bad mom just to get the plot going.
Yeah, she had to be yeah, it's one of those weird ones where after her kid's abducted, she becomes such a very like attentive, like I need to get my son back. I'll do whatever it
Oh,
takes.
now you care.
And it's like, yeah, now it matters, huh? Yeah. Yeah, now that you lost your kid, now it's a problem.
Right, right. Hey, you know the guy that plays the French scientist? You know he's a well-known director.
Is he
Uh
really?
yeah, Francois Truffaut. He started out in about the French New Wave with Godard and them. But yeah, he's actually like a well-known like film director that kind of inspired a lot of the Spielbergs and everybody in his generation. So it's kind of interesting that he has him in that role.
Huh. Yeah,
Yeah,
I didn't realize that.
yeah. And Lance Henriksen, he came out of nowhere towards the end.
He was
He was in the show Millennium, and I think he was in X Files too. You'll know the face when you see him, but like when I saw his face, I was like, "That's Lance Henriksen."
let me pull. Oh, yes, I know exactly. Yes.
And I was like, I looked at him like, "Oh, he's in this movie." Then I saw Carl Weathers, and I started noticing more people. I was like, "Man, they got a lot of well-known people in this in minor roles." You know?
Right. Yeah, this was I I want to say they were even pretty big names when this came out too, because what year did Close Encounters come out?
It was after Jaws, so people knew Richard Dreyfuss for Jaws.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, 1977. So, yeah.
this doesn't feel like this feels like more like an early '80s film than a late '70s film, to me at
Uh
least.
Given the effects in it and everything too,
Yeah.
I would even say that it's like it's almost got like 90s level effects in some of the scenes.
It's a '90s effect with an '80s feel in a '70s made movie.
Right, yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
It's
that makes perfect
definitely
sense.
it's a before its time kind of film. Like I know that there's like a new revamped like director's cut and stuff like that, but watching like the original version and stuff, it's like the effects still are pretty good on that.
See, that's the thing. I think that's what I watched because there's three versions. There's the original, the special edition, the director's cut. I think I saw the director's cut.
Okay. I can't remember if the director's cut had the new effects in it or not. Because I
I
know
know.
they updated the effects in it, so the ship actually looks, like a actual CG spaceship.
I think special edition has it where he films things inside the spaceship, and I think he always regretted that.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so that's what that one is. Dude, the first time I saw this was in theaters when they first brought it back to theaters, and I think it was a Fathom event. That was my
Hmm.
first time seeing this, man. It looked pretty good on screen.
See, I remember seeing this one just on DVD randomly in the past. I don't remember. I don't think there was any like purpose or anything. It was just kind of like, oh hey, watch this movie, and that was it. But this
Nice.
is, I want to say, the third time that I've seen this movie now. I haven't watched the special edition. I don't think I've seen the director's cut before, and then I've seen the original.
Okay. Yeah, man. I think like in the later half, in like the third half of the film, even though it does kind of lag a bit for me, I really love just that final moment with like the ship and like they're on that I don't want to say it's a landing base, but they're in this base where they got the keyboard set up with the sounds.
Yeah,
And,
in
and
the like pseudo military base or the temporary military base.
right. And dude, I just love it how they're playing around with the sounds and then the ship kind of just it does the dun 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 and then goes off into different octaves and stuff like that. And everybody's just like standing there looking in awe. Like I think that's just such a perfectly set up scene, man.
Oh yeah, especially because it starts with just the three ships that they're trying to communicate with using the sounds and the colors. And then what they do is those three ships leave and they're like, oh my God, that was a success. And then all of a sudden this huge ship shows up and they're just like, okay, well, that wasn't a part of the plan.
Y'all thought we were done. We're just getting started. Right.
We're done when I say we're done.
Right. In a Walter White kind of way. He says, no, we're gonna keep doing these little piano things here.
Right.
So we won't blow up this planet. I like how when all of the before the kid comes by, I like how when all of the soldiers from the 40s come out, like one by one, and then they treat it so casual, like no, the people are kind of like shocked to see them, like, oh hey, you're still alive, and the one guy's like, okay, let's take you to the debriefing room. Yep, say hi and everything. Let's get you debriefed.
Right. Welcome back, soldier. Just right this way, please.
Right. Let's make sure you don't have any radioactive I don't know pheromones on you or whatever.
Yeah. Let's make sure that we don't bring you back and you have some alien disease with you.
Right. We don't want to turn this into a Ridley Scott situation.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, man. I love that whole setup, man. And well, my only question was, why keep them for 30 years and just bring the kid back, like, I don't know, 2 weeks later?
I think it ended up just being a timing thing. So, because you had a lot of people that had reached these kind of, what was it? The encounters with them. And we got to see some of them like try and go to the mountain and everything like that. And then the government's like, yeah, no, it's toxic in the air and everything. You'll never survive. And you have Roy and going, yeah, no, that's not how this works. There's nothing wrong with the air. You're just saying that.
I love that shot in the helicopter where the guy's like, the air feels better here than in LA.
Yeah. But so you have a lot of people that have probably been reaching this contact point. This is just the first time that, anybody's met them that can communicate back with them. Because you have to keep in mind, like the government was seeing that message of just numbers and they were just going, we have no idea what it means. We sent them this message and we just keep getting this back on repeat, on loop. And it's not until the one person comes in and goes, have any of you actually looked at a map before? Because these are coordinates.
Yeah. I like how, so explain this to me. So Richard Dreyfuss' character, Roy, so he was the only one they let on the ship? Because I saw like a whole line of astronauts ready to go. And they just said, no, we want him. Like, so he was
I have to believe that was because he was chosen, because they make the comment when they're sending the people off because of the bad air that look, these people didn't come here because we invited them. They came here because they were chosen. They didn't come all this way for nothing. And out of all the people, they're just the ones that made it this far. There's possibly hundreds more that just weren't able to make it as far as they did, and we're turning them all away. And so the only person that was in that room getting the training and everything was Roy, for being one of the chosen ones by the aliens. Everybody else that was in there were just astronauts and everything like that. They had no connection to him at all, but he had that kind of connection with them.
Yeah, yeah, I got you, dude. I gotta tell you, man. I had a chopping up onions moment during that ending, man, where the alien was doing the hand sign,
Oh yeah,
with the French
the like
scientist,
this
right? I don't know what they're saying. Are they saying "nice to meet you" or something?
I don't know what it means, to be honest. I never looked it up to see.
For all I know, they'd be like, "All right, later, bro. Later,
Yeah.
broski. Later, broski." And then you got
I'm out.
right, and then you got the alien smiling, and I'm like, dude, I know that's a special effect, but that's like the best alien smile I've ever seen.
Mhm. Oh yeah. Like I love how they use like the standard gray man, or was this movie the one that started the gray alien big head kind of look for them?
I don't know, when did Fire in the Sky come out?
Um
I never saw that. Oh, that was in 1993. Yeah, it might be the first.
yeah, because it is that classic design for them, and I'm trying to remember if this is actually the start of what made people go, "Oh, that's what aliens look like."
Mm-hmm.
But I also like that there was the one very lanky one that we only really get one shot of as it's like coming out of the ship, and then it kind of disappears from there.
Right.
I wish we got more of that one because that was an interesting design choice for it.
That looked like one of the really Scott aliens. If I saw that at first, I was like, "Uh-oh,
Right, yeah.
it's my
Right.
turn."
It seems intimidating because you have this thing that's like just towering over everybody else. And then you have all these little, gray, children popping out. And it's like,
Right.
okay, well, that's not as scary.
Now we're back to the childish Spielberg.
Right,
Because I
right.
was like, I thought we almost went to a different movie. It was like, uh-oh, get the guns.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, man. Overall, man, classic film, dude. Like, for what it is, I thoroughly enjoy it. I like I said, it's vintage Spielberg, man. You got a lot of the whimsical, the fantastical. You got characters you like and that you actually care about. It I gotta say, the whole Roy Neary, even though his plot line is a little odd with his family like leaving him and you're not really knowing if he's crazy or not, and like that coupled with Jillian, mother of the year, like I like how
Mhm.
their paths do converge and they get like with that little kiss they have at the end, they're um everyone else thinking they're going insane. What they believe this whole time is like solidified, like like, oh my goodness, it exists. Like,
Right. We made it here and this is real.
yeah, man. I love that character development. Overall, man, I give this a 4.5.
Oh yeah, I agree. This one's I'd give this one a 4 out of 5 though.
Okay.
But it's definitely it's a classic movie. It's got everything that you expect from like an alien kind of movie that's not an alien invasion movie. you
Mhm.
know you have the suspense of not knowing when it's going to happen. You have like the little bits of nods to, is it real, is it not? You have the government kind of moments where they're trying to figure everything out. There's multiple stories going on here, and I love how they intertwine and actually like converge at the end to be satisfying for all the endings,
Mhm.
or where they all like tie up very nicely. You don't go, well, hold on, what about this plot line? Or what about this thing?
Mhm.
Everything comes together very nicely.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. All right, man. You ready to transition over?
Oh man. I have been ready for like when did this movie first come into theaters?
Wasn't really that long ago. It was July.
It feels like it's been years, man.
All right. All right. All right, man. Gonna go. The movie I've been waiting for a long time, man. I told you there was a few key films I was waiting for in the final quarter of well, towards the latter half of 2022, and this is one of them. we got Jordan Peele's long-awaited film Nope. So basically, pretty much summarize the plot here before we get into the nitty gritty. So Nope surrounds the characters of brother and sister, OJ and Emerald. So Otis and Emerald, OJ and M. So the OJ and M, their father, played by the great Keith David, runs a Hollywood horses ranch. His name is Otis Senior, and like they're like the descendant of the first black man on a horse on celluloid. So like the first celluloid picture of cinema, which consisted of a black man on a horse, that's their great 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 grandfather. Tragedy happens in the prologue of the film where Otis's father dies from this strange event that happens above their farm, where a bunch of flying objects, a bunch of metal objects, are flung down like hail from the sky. This whole time, OJ's been told like, oh, it was some kind of plane accident or some kind of freak plane incident that caused this, that caused the a metal nickel to go inside Otis Senior eye and basically kill him on the
it
operating table.
lodged itself like into his brain,
There you go.
through his eye.
Right. He always holds on to the coin. So ever since then, cut to present day, M is around to help him out with, trying to get some business, for the company, they have a unfortunate incident on a movie set where after she gives her speech in the beginning that she's always been trained to do, OJ is not really he's not really a person that likes people.
He's not a social person. He very much likes working on the farm. He likes working with animals, and he doesn't like talking to people. He doesn't like making business deals.
Right. So he needs M there to be the interpersonal liaison, kind of. So, long story short, they've been going on some rough times, and they come across a discovery, uh, uh, which in the beginning they look at it as a flying saucer, and they figure like, hey, let's try to capitalize off of this. We can make some money for the farm. And the funny thing about this movie is that everybody has different intentions. Everybody looks at this little discovery, which could be a UFO, and everybody has different intentions. And so that's that's the bare bones of Nope. You wanna start dissecting this thing, man?
So first off, let's go into one of the side stories within this movie, and that's the one with what's his name, Jupe.
Yeah, Gordy's home. I know you want to talk about this, man. You've been waiting to talk to me about this ever since I saw it.
Was the former right? So this is like one of those kind of side stories because it takes place in kind of a fictional TV show called Gordy's Home, which is just a family matters kind of sitcom. The chimpanzee eventually goes crazy after a balloon pops in the studio, and it sets it off, and it proceeds to kill everybody in the cast except for the little boy character, Jupe, who goes on to be played later on by Stephen Yeun as the adult version of that character, who is trying to like basically terrible incident occurred. So I love how we get little glimpses of this moment. Like in the very beginning, we get the little glimpse of the chimpanzee like covered in blood, kind of like going up, like tapping the
audio's going in and out.
People, and kind of looking around, taking off hat that it's wearing. Oh, is it?
Yeah, kind of.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Go ahead. Can you hear me?
Okay. But I love how it plays with yeah, I can hear you. But I love how it plays with the fact that you don't get much information. Then later on we see like another clip where you see like Jupe hiding under the table and being able to see things going on, and then we later finally get the full picture of everything that's going on with it. It is such a bone chilling kind of scene, like watching it just beat people up. And
that's a great
Go on.
harrowing sequence, man. Like I love the way that's filmed. Like that, a sequence like that shows you that the most horrifying stuff can happen off screen with your imagination. Like, cause like when you coming up on the monkey and you just hear
Oh
him
yeah.
you see him just beating on something and you know it's flesh, and then you just do a hard cut and then you just see Jupe under the table and
Oh, and you can hear like the bone crunching, and
yeah,
you can hear like just the blood splatter.
and
It's like, oh, that is even worse than seeing it. Is just hearing it, and knowing what it is. Your brain fills in the other information.
right. And, you know, it's just filmmaking, horror filmmaking 101 right there. And I love how with Homegirl, you can basically hear her choking for her life, and you can basically like see him. I think he beats her up a few more times. And I'm like, at one point, I'm like, this motherfucker eating her? Like, what's going on here?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I'm like, that's based off a real event.
Yeah, yeah, I remember it is based off. I'm trying to remember what the actual event was called that's based off of, but yeah.
Yeah, man, that whole scene is pretty bone chilling and pretty effective. And I like how it kind of ties into everything that's going on, because at one point you're like, okay, I know this exists for a reason, and I know this Jupe guy exists for a reason, but what's the full point of this? And I feel like
Mm-hmm.
to understand that, you either got to watch the film a second time, or or go on the internet and have people kind of dissect it, because it's really, I think this is like an intelligent blockbuster, because it's really about spectacles and about exploitation. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Well, it's also has that moment of like it was him because he was on a show where they thought that they could control a predator,
Mm-hmm.
a chimpanzee, and then he proceeds to try and or he thinks he has control over the UFO or the alien who is
Correct.
also a predator.
And
So it's go on.
he believes in bad miracles, like what OJ says to M. Like he sees that shoe standing up, and he kind of like, puts it in a glass case after the whole incident, keeps it in his like little like, I guess his shrine of the whole incident of him being on
Right,
the
yeah.
show. Yeah, but you go ahead, man.
But yeah, I absolutely love how they kind of this movie, as you said, it is basically a entire thing of being using exploitative measures in order to gain fame, in order to try and like hit that high of becoming a millionaire or getting that shot that is impossible to get.
Or for personal gain too. Like
Right, yeah.
M wants to be famous. OJ wants to save the ranch. Jupe wants to prove that he can like confront his trauma of the past. That he acts like it doesn't bother him, but you can kind of see glimpses. Like the fact that he talks about an SNL skit about the whole event, than actually talking about what happened, proves that he's
Mm-hmm.
still trying to push it further in his mind, or try to act like it doesn't bother him. My man from the electronics store wants to prove that UFOs exist. Everybody has a certain motive, like,
Yeah.
but not realizing that you can't tame an animal.
Yeah, and I love that you have OJ kind of deciphers that the creature, it's not a ship, it's actually an alien. And not only that, but it has the animalistic instincts. So
Mm-hmm.
he's able to kind of use what he has from training horses to know, okay, so we can uh, basically take advantage of this thing's predatory kind of skills.
Mm-hmm.
We know a couple things. It creates electric disturbance. It goes after whatever it can for food, and it'll only consume whatever looks at it.
Dude,
And
I love how no, I hear, yeah, I agree. I like the whole setup of the final part. I was just gonna say, I like how he took some inspiration from Evangelion for some of the
oh yeah,
creation of the animal.
yeah. For the look of the alien, he took the what was it? The angels from Evangelion.
Right.
Yeah, which I love that you've actually saw that now, so you actually could get that
I
reference.
get the reference, man. If you had said that to me about like a year ago, I'd be like, Oh, that's that anime show that I haven't gotten into. Okay.
Right, yeah.
All right, I hear you. I'm not gonna argue with you. But yeah, man, I what was I about to say? I was about to say that final showdown. Dude, I just loved how the creature morphs. Like this whole time we're thinking it's aliens in a ship. And I like
Mhm.
how Peele gives us the fake out, like, oh no, that's its form, that's its shape. That's not
Mhm.
really a UFO.
Yeah, because we get that first kind of glimpse of it, like after it well, no, more when the stadium like tries to lure it out using the horse.
Yeah.
The Jupe is like selling tickets, see a UFO, no flash photography, blah blah blah. And it comes and it literally swallows the entire stadium. And that's where you start getting the idea, oh, it's not just a ship, it's something else.
And then you got the inside shot of people like inside. Because at first I thought it was them trying to claw their way into the alien spaceship. I said, okay, that's an interesting shot. But then when it starts like, you know, like swallowing people out, like spitting people out, which
Mhm.
I think is because of the metal horse it swallowed earlier. That's like, ah, man, why did y'all feed me this? Now I gotta spray
Oh
blood.
yeah.
Now I gotta spray blood all over your house. Um, I thought that was an interesting shot too.
Yeah, I love how they use that to be able to tell, the flags. It doesn't like the flags because it got stuck in, its you know, I throat or whatever.
In his claw,
And
whatever.
right. So it didn't like that. So they kind of use that to its advantage because later when they're like tempting it, he has the string of like flags behind him, so he knows that it won't attack him.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, man. Overall, I think this was a great film, dude. The final showdown was like, that was just well filmed to me, man. And it took me a while to kind of understand what was going on. Like,
Like which with what part?
so like, of course, the staging of trying to trap the UFO, which they're called with trap the alien, which they call Jean Jacket from like a moment from their childhood. That took me a while to kind of catch on to. Like, this is a film that kind of requires multiple viewings.
Mhm.
Like because I was like, okay, I see what they're doing. I don't quite know why they're doing it. And like as the film was going on, you start to catch on more and more. Okay, I see what's happening. It's kind of like a Chris Nolan film where dialogue is important as well as like trying to like looking at images and things, if that makes sense. But the final showdown where M basically the alien is in between M and OJ, which is kind of like a theme for how they're so different. Like
Mhm.
OJ is just so stuck to the farm because it's all he knows. M is just like off in LA doing her thing because she doesn't like being on the farm. She likes to go out and like live her life and not be reminded of like her childhood and like that her dad is gone. So that's like I like how it like separates them. But I didn't notice the first time watching it that the front of the alien was where the whole, I guess, square shapes were popping out. Like that was kind of like
Oh,
his
like
eye.
the green. I think that was its mouth.
Oh, that was his mouth. I thought that was his eye.
Oh,
Uh,
maybe that was its eye. I don't, because I thought that square in the center was the same kind of square that it was using like to suck everything up whenever it was eating everything.
it probably was. It probably was. But I like how the final showdown is of her, it following her back to Jupiter's claim.
Hmm.
And initially, I didn't know what she was trying to do with the Jupiter
Oh, the
balloon.
balloon.
Yeah, because I was like, okay, I see that, but what's the whole deal with the wishing well? Like, what is she trying to do? And then I figured, like, okay, she's trying to get proof that it exists. But I thought that was a great showdown, man. I thought that was well filmed, well executed. I thought the final scene at the end with her brother showing up in the cloud of dust. Most people thought that was kind of her imagination that he didn't survive, but I think it's kind of evident that he survived.
Yeah, I think it's because we didn't have a scene where you would believe that he did die.
Right.
Because he was kind of there trying to like distract it for a minute, but
Mm-hmm.
we didn't have any like on-screen proof because it's the same is for Angel, who he managed to get wrapped up in the tarp and
Right. Which
everything,
split it
so it
open a little
ignore him.
bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I thought that was a great final moment. But dude, I don't know where this actor is from, bro, but I think we're gonna see him in more films. The guy that played the cinematographer, I just love how he's just so
Oh,
like, yeah.
uh,
I know they say he was in Alien 4. I don't remember him in that movie.
yeah, Michael Wincott.
Yeah, I love how he has the raspy voice and he's like, you want to get the miraculous shot. Let me tell
Yeah,
you, kid, I've been chasing it my whole life. It's not worth the chase. I was
yeah.
like, I don't know whether to laugh at this guy or just call him like one of the best characters in this film.
Well, I love that when she's first talking to him and she goes, "We're looking to get the impossible shot," and he just goes, "That's impossible."
Right, right. I love how he goes out. He goes out loving his work, man. His death is probably one of the best ones in the movie because he's like, initially he chooses to leave, like, you know what, this isn't even worth it, man. This is just too much. But then as he's dying, he's like running the camera, looking up at the thing as it's swallowing it up.
Yeah. Oh yeah, as he's like going up and everything, he's still reeling the camera. It's like, oh, I really hope that that footage survives somehow because that would be glorious for his ending.
That would be the impossible shot.
The impossible shot that he said was impossible to get. Yeah,
Yeah.
him and I absolutely loved who was it? Brandon Perea as
Mm-hmm.
Angel, the just the sales guy at Fry's, who literally sets up their equipment and everything. He's like, "So, what you trying to find? Burglars." Does the camera point up any higher? Like that? Not higher. Like
Right.
at the sky? Yeah, yeah.
You mind if
Okay.
I love how he goes like, you mind if I view your footage, like just for any like inconsistencies? No, hell no. Like,
Yeah.
and then I like how he comes back and says, you guys are searching UFOs. Just I thought I told you not to look at our shit.
Right.
I
Or
love
no,
that, man.
he originally like calls her and goes, "There's a mantis on camera B," and she's like, "I know that. Wait, how do you know that?"
Oh, right, right, right. That's what happened. Yeah, man, I loved him. Like I like every character in this, man. Like I
Oh
feel like
yeah.
everybody does a great job. What I was gonna say to you is I see how this film is kind of polarizing though. Like I
Yeah.
liked it better than Us. You know, I don't think so far it's gonna be hard to top Get Out. Like we don't know what the future holds, but Get Out is just such a fiercely original movie. But
Hmm.
I like this better than I like this better than Us, but I see how this is so polarizing because some people. So here's where it goes, and you know my wife and I we didn't debate this fiercely since we saw the Green Knight. You got the people who are on the side of my wife going like, yeah, I get it, but was all that really necessary? You know, he could have just made a straightforward sci-fi movie. Like this is a waste of time. And you got people like me who go, well, no, there's some depth to it, and it can be broken apart and really looked at and dissected. And you got other people that go, yeah, but why?
Hmm.
Like this film is not for everybody. I'll say that off the top. I like how original it is, but I can see how it could be polarizing to some people.
Yeah, it's basically it, I think somebody when I was reading like what some people were like comparing it to, it has a very much like found footage vibe in its pacing
That's interesting. I
where
wouldn't connect. Okay.
basically you see little glimpses of it at first and then it starts to get more and more and we have like the camera angles and everything like that. It comes off as very found footage, which typically those are paced very slowly because, as this movie puts it, you want the money shot, which is always at the end of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So that I think is what turned a lot of people off to it is the pacing on it is very slow in regards to the alien
Mm-hmm.
because there's so much more that the movie is trying to do than just be an alien movie. And I like that about it because it's not trying to be like, oh, this is just an alien that we're trying to capture. about these people that, I want to be rich and famous, and this person wants to be able to just prove that aliens exist. This other person just wants to be on his farm and live his life. He wants nothing to do with this. Just let him be. He has
Right.
work to do in the morning.
Right. Right. I love that. I love that line OJ gives. Like I got work in the morning. Because
Yeah.
it's his life. The farm is his life. Yeah, but I can see how this is polarizing to some people. Like, I really like. Here's a scene that was kind of like really scary. Not scary, but it kind of like put a little bit of fear in you because you wasn't expecting it. That scene when they're in the barn and how to it was the kids pranking them before, of course, but you didn't know what it
Oh
was.
yeah.
Like when that alien thing started to stand up, you were like, oh no, oh, what's going on here? And I like how he was backing up. The one alien thing came out of the bar and he was like, nope, 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 nope. And he put
Oh
on
yeah.
his camera trying to take a picture. Cause I'm like, you're saying nope, but you're trying to take footage of this. Why don't you just run? You know what I mean?
I think he basically was in a state of shock of just like, I don't want anything to do with this, but at the same time, this is what I'm going to need to be able to prove that
Right.
there's
I
something going on.
I need this to get the money for the farm. Right, right.
Right. And I
Uh
love how the one kid like comes out and kind of tries to scare him and he just punches right in the face.
that reminded me of a viral video where I think somebody was trying to scare somebody. It was a black guy. I think he was talking to somebody. Somebody popped up out of a trash can. He punched him real quick, like oh, and then he
Oh
screamed.
yeah.
Like that was the reaction. He punched, then screamed.
Right. Yeah, I love that. The use of the like what was it? The white plastic horse that we kind of mentioned a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
where they use it as bait and everything, and then later it throws it right back at him, like right through his car windshield. The scene where he's driving back to the house with the horse kind of just sticking straight up out of the windshield,
Right.
it's hilarious in a way. But that was one of the jumps that actually got me a little bit.
That's where the movie's logic starts to fall on me a little bit because I'm like, so it doesn't swallow up people who look. It doesn't swallow up people who don't look at it. Like, because I was like, I guess that makes sense. But I'm like, how does a horse look at that? How does a horse look at that? You know what I'm saying?
It was
Like,
more, it only goes for things that it sees as prey. So it saw
hmm,
horses as prey,
okay.
and people, it doesn't notice until they're kind of looking at it because of the reflection. So in order to like interpret it, he kind of use, remember at the beginning of the movie where the person has like the flash cam and the horse is fine until he flips it around and he has the mirror that it basically reflects back at the horse.
Hmm.
And it
Okay.
creates that moment of like, oh, now I see this thing.
Oh, okay. All right. I got you. All right. That kind of makes sense. Yeah, man. I just feel like this film has layers that you could peel back for days. It's a straight 4 out of 5 to me.
Yeah, this one's a 4.5 out of 5.
Really.
Yeah,
Like
I
I think.
think it does a great job at creating the tension of everything. When we finally see the alien, it actually feels fulfilling to see it. And it still has that like mystery about it of like we still have no idea anything about this alien.
Mhm.
We know a little bit, but we don't know everything.
I feel like I gotta watch. I feel like a few more watches will get me there. But I feel like a 4 is good for me. Like I feel like a 4 is solid.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I'm in it for the long haul, man. Whatever this man brings to the cinema next, I'm there. He's very original and unique, and I like how he approaches genre subjects from like a subversive view. You know what I'm saying? Like we expect this to be like another Close Encounters, but it ended up being something a little bit different.
Right. Yeah. I absolutely love how he's the naming conventions for his movies too. Like
Mm-hmm.
calling this one Nope is
It intrigues you.
it intrigues you, and it's such a perfect title for it because literally in that situation you're just like, nah, I don't
Nope.
want anything to do with
Nada.
this.
Not,
Nope.
not here.
Not
Nope.
happening.
Right. Like, I like how people would ask him, like, so the title, is it like an acronym for not our planet Earth or anything like that? He's like, nah, It's just what I expect people to go when they see the trailer. Like, nope.
Yeah.
I like that makes it even funnier, to be honest. Hey man, before we let go here, did you check out Amazon's $1 billion investment,
No,
The Rings
not
of Power?
yet. I haven't seen that or the new Game of Thrones spin-off series yet.
House of the Dragon. Yeah, I haven't seen that either. Um, man, $1 billion. That's the
Did you
most.
see the first episode of it?
No, I'm gonna wait. I actually wanted to read the books first and then get back into the whole trilogies and everything, and then I'm in no rush. But like, that's the most expensive series ever made.
Apparently it pulled in the biggest like first night premiere drawing of any Amazon original.
Oh yeah, they want to make their money back. Trust me.
Oh
Because
yeah.
every time I'm on the Fire Stick, every Amazon small car I see, I see Rings of Power. Hey, did you know about? We got a Lord of the Rings show now? Okay, you
Yeah.
can get back to your Mr. Bean. We just want to let you know we got that. Hey, remember
Right.
we got that new Lord of the Rings show here. Like they are pushing this.
Hey, remember Lord of the Rings? It's not over yet.
Right, right. Yeah. Did you hear about how when people were trying to troll them, posting the bad reviews that they blocked reviews for like 72 hours?
Did they really?
Yeah, like I guess people were putting out troll reviews for it. Either people who just didn't want to watch the show because they're like such diehard fans of like the Tolkien books, or just trying to I guess troll the show. They were like, okay, we can't have no negative publicity. We have to make our money back. Let's just block reviews for 72 hours.
I mean, that happens with almost every major release now. Is there's a group of people that are like, "Oh, I gotta review bomb this down with 1 stars, even though I have nothing to say about it because I haven't seen it yet."
Right.
Just on the concept that it has this one thing that I don't like, whether it's an actor I don't like or a director I don't like, or it's ruining something from my childhood.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, man, I'm gonna take my time with House of the Dragon though. I feel like I still have Game of Thrones withdrawals.
I still have yet to have the same feeling where it's like, yeah, I don't need to see this.
Yeah, I will watch it eventually, maybe somewhere down the line. I heard that it's good. I heard that it's pretty good. The reviews I've heard for Rings of Power is like, yeah, it looks beautiful, but nothing's really happening right now. Like,
It's still in the setup phase.
I think so. Yeah. Some people say, well, there are some battle sequences, but some people are like the plot is still kind of gestating. Some people have complained about the dialogue, but everyone says, hey, it looks beautiful though. You see the $1 billion, that's for sure.
Right. I think that wraps it up for today.
All right, wraps it up. All right, y'all. Another great episode of DFV. We'll see you on the next one.